It is OHS BBA Division II East Regional Final action from Westerville Central High School just outside of Columbus, Ohio. Good evening and welcome to this regional final alongside Greg Waddell. My name is Jason Griever. Upsets the name of the game in this region, and as it is the third seed, Olentangy Braves, taking on the 4th seed, St. Charles Prep. And both teams looking to advance to the state Final Four next week out at Pickard Central. St. Charles Prep, the 4th seed, getting here by way of knocking off top seed Worthington Kilburn in the regional semifinals. They finished the year ranked 11th in the state of Ohio. Olentangy getting here after a 4-set win over St. Francis de Sales in the regional semis, the 2 seed. So they are here as well, looking to get to a state Final Four. They finished the year ranked 9th in the final Ohio Boys Volleyball.com poll. So, Greg, looking at these two teams right now, they're both kind of playing with house money. You look at the way the rankings and other things shook out. Neither team was supposed to be here, and yet here they are playing for a regional title.
And as we are, if you happen to be watching this live as it's happening, we're getting started a little bit later because of unique circumstances. St. Charles Prep, the Cardinals, going through their graduation ceremonies tonight for their seniors, so they got here a little bit late, and I guarantee you that the planning that went into this, not to take anything away from what St. Charles has accomplished on the court, but they probably weren't thinking that they were going to be here. So, and if St. Francis de Sales would have been here, the Stallions are perennial regional finalists, if not playing in the state Final Four year after year after year. So it's kind of a strange anomaly that we've kind of worked into the way that we are at. But give it up. I mean, to St. Charles, to Olentangy, both these teams had to pull the upsets to get here, and that makes for exciting times. You never know what you're going to get at this point, and that leaves for a wide open Division II state Final Four when we get there next weekend.
Yeah, the winner of this East Regional will take on the North Region champion, which will either be Walsh Jesuit or Bexville Broadview Heights out of the North Region. That final will not be played until Saturday. A couple of names we'll be calling, most likely quite a lot for Olentangy. First of all, Jacob Nussdorfer, 6'7" outside hitter, 6'7" there, hit 357 in the win over DeSales. Also had 7 kills, but everything starts and stops with Olentangy with Sam Kaler, the first team All-East Regional performer against DeSales. 24 kills, 11 digs, 6 aces. He's, of course, going to play college volleyball next year at the NAIA level at the University of Rio Grande. But still, 2 outstanding players. They have other height and size as well. It's 6'6" Colin Varga and Gavin Grover. But again, with Olentangy, really starts and stops with Sam Kaler.
Yeah, but he will be certainly the center of their offense. He'll be the center of the defense. He'll be the big guy that will be patrolling up front, trying to stop any kind of a rush that St. Charles can throw their way, but they're most definitely going to work their offense around him. But you've got a couple of other players, too. You mentioned Kaler, but 3 players honorable mention out of D2 East Region as well. Sam Irwin, he is a senior. He, along with a fellow honorable mention from the East Region in Division II, will be headed to play at Mount Union, talking about Matt Kaiser. So you got Sam Irwin and Matt Kaiser, a couple of other great pieces of the puzzle for head coach Emmy Holzclaw, and then another player who was honorable mention as a freshman. How about this? We're going to see 4 years of this young man, Gavin Grover, at 6'4". So looks like a little bit to play with on the Olentangy side of things. They finished up 14-8 in the regular season, so it'll be fun to see how you mix all those pieces together. But you're absolutely right when it's all going to come down to it. When you've got a player that is first team headed to play in Rio Grande, Sam Kaler, that's probably where we're going to see a lot of all the sets run out of.
Interesting, the makeup of this Olentangy roster, too. 6 seniors, 6 freshmen up on the varsity squad. You don't see that very often. As for St. Charles Prep, a couple of names to keep an eye on. Nick Benison, first team All-East Region, 6'5", outside hitter. Josh Thomas and Miller Kuntz, also second team All-East selections. Kuntz, the setter for St. Charles Prep, and really gets things going there. And Josh Thomas, as I said, working on the outside. And so we'll see how that plays out here. Also look out for Ryan Utt in the middle at 6'5". That should be a fun matchup up front with Nussdorfer and Varga for Olentangy going up against Ryan Utt in the middle of that St. Charles front line here. So still a few minutes away from the set of action here. As Greg said, St. Charles actually had commencement ceremonies here, so we were actually delayed here waiting on those 6 seniors for St. Charles Prep to arrive here at Westerville Central High School, and they are being given the opportunity to go through their warm-ups and so forth there.
You know, Jason, we've talked in our other broadcasts, and if folks didn't get a chance to watch the Division I East Regional Finals that we had earlier tonight, talking about the different broadcasts that we've had. 10th year now that ESP Media has been broadcasting the OHS BVA Championship Weekend, much less the semifinals, and we've done games of the weeks over the years. But I can never recall having by the way, you see on the screen, the OHSBVAbroadcast.com. That's where you can get everything. Every regional final that's going on. There's going to be 3 regions tomorrow with 3 matches each, so you got 9 more matches tomorrow. But in all these years, I don't ever recall having a match delayed because of graduation. And it's a unique circumstance that we're going through. I know head coach Ned Gruber, who is a St. Charles alum himself, happened to be trying to convince the keepers here to maybe add a little bit more time onto the clock to get his seniors. He had one senior who was still getting taped up.
He got his wish, actually, because they went ahead and put an extra 5 minutes on the clock
which
so they could go through.
Which is the 20 minutes that each of the other regions got. But his seniors didn't get here until there was already good 6 or 7 minutes gone from the original 15 that they had put on. So
Division II is down to 8 teams, as we see 2 of them here. We told you the North region, it will feature Walsh Jesuit taking on Bexville Broadview Heights in the North region title. In the West, it'll be Bishop Fenwick taking on Archbishop Alter in a regional final there. And in the South tomorrow, Stephen T. Baden will take on LaSalle, and top 2 seeds in the South. Their top 2 seeds in the North made it through. In the West, it's a 1 versus 3 as Alter upset Carroll in the semifinals. And, of course, as we told you here, 3 versus 4. So both these teams here really have a chance to play Cinderella for another week, going the next week to Pick Central, where the state tournament will be taking place. And we will have all the coverage of that for you here on OHSBVAbroadcasts.com. But
well, Jason, you and I will be for a couple of matches tomorrow in Centerville for the West region. You mentioned that Bishop Fenwick and the Kettering Alter matchup. And Alter, another one of those perennial teams, year after year after year, always makes their way up to Columbus as one of the state Final Four teams. Fenwick is kind of the team everybody's been chasing this year, though. They're the state number 1 in D2. So I'll be on the call for that one tomorrow. Then I know you'll be down with the South region with Baden and LaSalle matchup. That'll be fun.
And for fans tuning in for this one here, you're going to get the winner of the North region in the state semifinal. We're going to have that for you on OHSBVAbroadcasts.com, so you can kind of get a little bit of advanced scouting on your next opponent, because obviously the winner here advances on. This is the East region is the only region playing on Friday night. Both Division I and Division II have been played here tonight. The other 3 regions will go on Saturday.
And I'm not Olentangy may be graduating tomorrow, which is why this got moved to tonight, and then this match got moved to the last of the night. So I know there were graduation issues with several of the schools, so or maybe it was a couple of the schools earlier today in the other matches we had going on.
And of course, that's obviously a very special thing for the kids to celebrate everything they've been able to do, and in fact, just to have that commencement ceremony.
Exactly.
And then this here tonight just becomes the icing on the cake, so to speak, that they're able to come here and compete for a chance to go to a state Final Four, and that's not something that comes along very often for any team, no matter how good you are. You never take that for granted, and so both these teams have a real good shot to get there.
And again, you made mention of the makeup of the team, the St. Charles team, with 6 seniors that went through that commencement. Got to wonder what their mindset's going to be coming in here now, because they're going through probably one of the most special moments of their lives in high school graduation. But now, as you mentioned, you don't get these kinds of chances to play in a regional final for the chance for a state Final Four either. So a lot on the line, a lot of fun, and you can hear the crowds. It's a late night kind of party crowd, and I feel like we're in Tucson. What is that? The 16th green at Tucson here tonight.
That's right.
A little late night.
The officials are first referee, Richard Peck. Second referee, Lori Franciscan. Line judge, David McCrae. And line judge, Brian Washburn. The athletes, coaches, and officials are guests of Westerville Central High School, and fans are asked to respect the effort that each of them has put forth preparing for tonight's contest. We will ask all attending to show courtesy and respect to fellow fans, officials, coaches, and those administrating the contest, and of course your team and opponent. It is important today, as ever, please respect the game. There is no seating or flash photography in the front row of the bleachers. Now, let's meet the players for tonight's match. First for the visiting team, the number 4 seeded St. Charles Cardinals, coached by Nick Gruber, assisted by Joe Gruber, Zach Hartman, and Lonnie Stuckey. Number 1, senior Ken Horizon. Number 2, senior Josh Thomas. Number 11, senior Noah Cruz. Number 15, senior Josh Butcher. Number 17, junior Tom Donnelly. Number 18, junior Nick Benson. Number 23, senior Alex Mikulik. Number 25, sophomore Noah Franz. Number 27, senior Zach McLyman. Number 28, Stu Hankinson. Number 30, junior Miller Kuntz. Number 33, senior Ben Franz. Number 35, freshman Jack Keister. Number 36, junior Narat Mopala Nusam. Number 48, junior Joseph Bragley. And now for the home team, the number 3 seeded Olentangy Braves, coached by Ellie Horscroft, assisted by Solomon Grishman, Shelby Hartzell, and Dalen Hartzell. Number 1, freshman Max Gutierrez. Number 3, senior Sam Irwin. Number 11, senior Tyler Mandelkorn. Number 12, junior Colin Bargy. Number 15, senior Jacob Nostafer. Number 16, freshman Jack Barkey. Number 19, freshman Mitch Tracy. Number 20, freshman Carter Schomach. Number 22, freshman Charlie Berry. Number 22, freshman Gavin Grover. Number 33, senior Sam Kaler. Number 44, senior Max Kaiser. And number 45, junior Michael Kondo.
Who doesn't like a little late Friday night volleyball, man? These kids are fired up.
Well, you got the St. Charles, kind of their student section that's over there. They're all decked out in their beach attire, although I think when we go outside a little bit later on, it's not going to feel beach weather-like.
Oh. Maybe a little short on the layering.
Yeah, without a doubt. But a lot of fun there. You know, it's good for them. A couple of teams that I'm sure they believed that they could be here. Maybe everybody else looking outside in didn't think that they would be here, but here they are, and they're getting a chance to play for the state Final Four.
Olentangy, the home team, will be on your left on your monitor, wearing all black with purple and gold accents. St. Charles will be in the red and white and will be on the right side throughout the duration of the match, as with this year with protocols, teams not switching sides from set to set. As far as your liberos for Olentangy, it looks like it will be Max Gutierrez handling the most of the duties for, in that respect there, the freshman who had 18 digs in the win against DeSales. And for St. Charles Prep, it'll be Narit Moncolasana wearing the gray jersey on the right side at number 36. Josh Thomas, second team All-East Region, will kick off this regional championship.
And a very recent graduate.
Literally within hours.
Yeah.
Waiting for the signal for the all go.
Let's do it.
This East Regional Final is underway. Kaler from the back line, not much on it though. His first touch, not his ideal one. A miss hit there. Kaler able to dig it out, but unable to be kept alive on the near side. And so the first point goes to the Cardinals.
In each of the Division I regional finals we had here earlier tonight, we saw some slow starts by both teams. And throw this in here tonight, the later start. Wonder how that'll go.
Irwin's kill attempt is blocked. Kaler from the back line again. This one is dug out to the far side, kept in by Kuntz.
Got it.
2-0 in favor of St. Charles. You wondered how they would come out early as Ben Franz has the kill, another recent graduate. You wondered for maybe some kind of hangover effect. Good start.
Tell you what, I mean, it's going to be pure adrenaline is what it's going to be for the St. Charles kids. And an ace. Up, point out.
Just long.
But he played it.
It'll be Jacob Nussdorfer back now, the 6'7" senior.
I love when coaches put their tallest player as the first serve. That way you get him around and you kind of try to create mismatches when you do that.
Didn't hit that one clean, but it's over. Played across, the only play Nick Bennison could make. Bennison pops it up. And I think that's going to be double contact.
Yeah.
So the first two to St. Charles, the next two to Olentangy.
Miller Kuntz trying to get down below and underneath that ball. Couldn't quite get both hands there and had the double.
See what kind of pace Nussdorfer has on this one.
A lot more.
Better. Bennison punches it over. Out to the far side with the left hand, tapping it over there is Gavin Grover, that 6'4" freshman.
Woo.
That is a missile from Nick Bennison. He did not graduate today. He's just a junior. First team All-East.
No, the first team All-Big East kind of hit, too.
Awkward play from the freshman Gutierrez. It'll be an ace for the Cardinals, thanks to Ben Franz. And that emotional high coming off of commencement ceremonies just hours before the match. And the seniors doing work early. Nussdorfer pops it over and nobody goes to get it. You see in the middle there Miller Kuntz and Zach McClyman just both ball watching.
That's one of those ones where concentration levels, you can play on adrenaline at one point, but you got to settle down a little bit. And the concentration level is going to be there as well.
Grover with the serve this time. Quick set into the middle and right into the net from McClyman.
And a tough set, low set. Didn't really have a chance to get over and put that one down. All even at 4.
Grover with a very playable ball. That is rejected
Nice.
at the summit by Max Kaiser. He's more than just a setter. He can get up.
Now we mentioned he's going to be going along with Sam Irwin. Both of them are going to be headed to Mount Union to play some college volleyball. Big time play there.
Another quick set attempt there, and that one is out. Charles tried to say that was touch at the top. That is not the case. And Olentangy now on a run has a 6-4 lead. That one out as Irwin and Kaiser up there challenging Bennison, but could not return it in play.
Pretty good serves there, though, by Gavin Grover, the freshman, all honorable mention player for Olentangy.
Miller Kuntz back to serve, second team All-East. Awkward play, it'll throw everything off, and Gutierrez just has to bump it over. The back set this time, and the lefty working on the far side. Agarazi. And that is out, and another point to St. Charles. The energy still high. They still haven't come down.
Well, and sometimes that energy level on one side can affect the team on the other side, too, because it's hard to match the kind of adrenaline, the emotional adrenaline that St. Charles is bringing into this game right now.
That'll
help.
Is out, though, on that far side.
Oh, Wow, I thought that painted the line.
Yeah, I thought it did too. So a point to St. Charles. I thought Kaler had that one read all the way up that sideline. Ace. You get those kind of breaks at times, and Miller Kuntz, another one who did not graduate here today. He's just a junior. Another one too. I don't think caffeinated drinks are in his diet. I don't think he needs them. That one too long.
And to go back to that thought too about the energy level that St. Charles has because of the adrenaline and because of graduation, for Olentangy to try and meet that, you've got to create your own kind of adrenaline, your own kind of motivation in this game. And that's a hard thing to counter here right now, but give them credit. 1 point game.
Irwin with the serve this time. Kuntz in the middle with the back set. And Kent Benison on the wraparound is able to be played back over by Neusdorfer. Left side, got to mistime the jump. Neusdorfer from the back line with that left hand and got it. Didn't get all of it, but found a hole.
Now the placement's where it's important, Ed. Pace is one thing, placement a lot more.
I'm sure Olentangy also understands, too, that St. Charles is going to come down off that emotional high as things go along. No need to try to match it early on.
That's a great point. That's very true. You can't keep that intensity up.
That one is wide of the mark from Kaler. And so I think early, especially if you can just withstand the early energy run that St. Charles will naturally have in this one. I'm sure Coach Holtzclaw telling her boys will say, we'll be fine. They're probably going to come out hot. That one is way long and hot off the hands of Nick Benison. And so we are tied at 9 in the opening set.
And for Olentangy to match that intensity or at least stay with it,
yeah,
they're doing a good job. Obviously all tied up at 9-9, but that's important at this point of the match.
Sam Kaiser trying to work up the near side on that one. Set across the way. Kaiser keeps that one up. That was deflected as it was moved over.
Oh,
Thomas got it.
Kaiser got sucked up that time. He made that little push shot to get it over the net, but he never really got back deep. And give St. Charles credit. They saw that he had inched up just enough and found that back open lane.
Narit Moncolasana on serve now. That is a missile and caught the line. You can't do a line drive serve any better than that. There's nothing the Braves could do in that instance.
Well, the middle back player just kind of ducked and hoped that it might sail along. Didn't get that luck.
They'll try it again. This one played up by Gutierrez. The third from Kaler should be a routine chance for St. Charles. There it is.
I know you noticed the same thing I did, Jason, during the national anthem. We saw Narit Moncolasana come over to his coaches, and he was putting glasses on. And I don't know if he normally wears contacts, but he's got glasses on right now, but doesn't seem to be, well.
That was a miss hit off the wrist.
I
think he was working with the frames, trying to make sure they were on there. And as a spectacle sporter myself, I can tell you, and you as well, that can be a tricky thing to try to have to work through.
Well, and that's what I'm wondering. Does he normally wear them when he's playing, or is this something that might be a little bit different look for him?
There is Kaler. Right to Moncolasana, easily played. Near side, and nicely done. Pretty simple offense, and Thomas has the kill.
Well, he's playing with a ton of emotion. And Nick Benison out there as well. Non-seniors, but
Agnazari with the serve that time, and that one is
did he get a touch?
They'll say no. I thought Benison got a piece of that as it was heading to the back line.
He must have just moved his hand out of the way because he was trying to make a play on it and luckily did not hit him.
Keon Agnazari with the serve once again. And a miss hit all the way from Gavin Grover right into the net. And all of a sudden, St. Charles pulling away. And Olentangy coach Emmy Holtzclaw says, I've seen enough. It is a 5-point lead for the Cardinals here in set number 1 at 15-10.
Well, this has been a pretty evenly played match. It was 9-9 at one point when St. Charles broke the serve, and now since that point have gone on a 6-1 run. And St. Charles again playing with that emotion of a commencement earlier in this evening. I've done a few games over the years at different levels of high school sports. I remember a few years back when we were doing a regional lacrosse game down in Cincinnati, and there was one of the teams, there was a Friday night game, and there was terrible weather. In fact, to the point of tornado warnings during the game. They ended up delaying the game and then postponing it. We're going to finish it the next day, and the team that was winning also had graduation that next day. So they had to play the game, the rest of the game, before the graduation ceremonies, and then those players had to get dressed, leave, and head on over to commencement. So it's not unheard of, but very unusual.
Agazari served this time long out of the timeout. And if anything as well, that timeout, maybe thinking for Coach Holzclaw, maybe take some of that energy out of St. Charles here. I mean, obviously, things getting away, you're down 5. You were probably going to take a timeout regardless of that factor.
Well, they call that the coach's point. When you break up a serve, a long, you got some successful serving like that, it breaks it all up.
Good dig out by Benison. The back set, Neusdorfer got it.
Oh. Boy, when he first took that swing, I didn't think there was any way that ball was going to get down into the corner, but
he got just enough of an angle on that downswing.
He knew exactly where he was going to and got it.
15-12. Olentangy now trails. That one wide. Gutierrez floated with that sideline on the previous serve. That time went a little further than he needed to.
Kind of got that floater that just goes out there. You would think those floaters look like they're easy serves to return. They're not, because they're knuckling away and trying to kind of get it onto that line, which means a player's probably going to be hitting it off to his side and not getting a clean cut at it. Just send it wide.
Freshman Jack Kester's on for this serve, and a bit of a knuckler there. Neusdorfer here, though. Too hot to handle for the freshman. In good position, just kind of pulled his hands back a little too early.
Yeah, when you're coming from the serve line there, sometimes you're getting to your spot, but you're not ready to necessarily receive, and that's, I think, what happened to Kester's right there.
Neusdorfer once again here on serve. The back set across the way and kept up. Now Gutierrez will have to send it through. Kuntz to Benison. Wow.
He's playing really well.
Yes, he is, and he's got a determined look on his face is almost as if to say, let's go, give me some more. 17-13, St. Charles with the lead. Ben Franz on serve. And unable to be kept alive there as Kuntz played it off the net. He and McClyman right there couldn't get it back up, and so the Braves take it back.
And hit on the under part of the tape, and it shoots it back down a lot quicker at you, and reaction time a little less of that to react and get the ball back up.
Kuntz with the quick set and just caught the line. That caught the back edge of the back line. You talk about threading a needle. You can't play it any closer on that back line.
You don't see that call. More times than not, line judges will call that one out. When you got the ball on the back side of the line like that, that's a tough one to call, but that's why you put your foot right there on the line to get a good view.
Kuntz with the serve. See if they get Kaler set up. Here he goes. Moncolasana with the dig. And now just sent over.
Boy, nice short send over on that 3-ball.
Kaler, too long.
They wanted to touch on that one. They thought at that point that McClyman had gotten a piece of that one, but no such luck.
I tell you, St. Charles energy level, I think after the timeout has dropped from, say, an 11 all the way to a 10.5.
That far, huh?
Despite the service error there, they still have a 4-point lead here in the set as Agazari rotates out and freshman Stu Hankinson checks in. Sam Irwin on serve. Kuntz with the back set and trying to go across the way. Was that deflected? No.
That's as sharp an angle shot as you're going to see. That ball was not 3 feet off the net.
I think Benison trying to get a little too fine with that cross-court attempt. Set of the near side.
That's a touch.
And that was touched at the summit there as Hankinson went up for it. Good job, kid. Get your team a point. And now give way to Hagnazari as Nick Benison will go on serve. His team leading 20-16. That first play from Kaler threw all of that off. He could not handle it from Nick Benison. It's 21-16 in favor of St. Charles, and another Olentangy timeout.
At this point, yeah, you got to just break up the serve. You don't want it to get to 22 and needing to get the side out to try and salvage things at this point. So now's when you try to break up that serve, because we saw what kind of a serve Benison has. And you know, I'm interested too. We saw Emmy Holzclaw walking around, and the previous match probably ended before 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So there was a good hour plus.
She's been here for a while, as have her players.
And that's what I was curious of. I mean, because
if they sat too long, they got cold.
Well,
it feels like, at least from my perspective, right now in this set, it feels like Olentangy is just trying to get through this first set.
They're playing uphill right now is what it seems like.
Yeah.
And they've kind of had that burden, and then St. Charles has the adrenaline rush of the graduation ceremony that their seniors just went through a few hours back. And so it's an interesting dynamic, because sometimes you'd think that the concentration level would be gone for that type of a team, but it's not. I mean, St. Charles right now just using that adrenaline.
Benison back on serve. That's a wicked one right to Grover, and good job in the middle by Kaiser to not take any chances, just dump it over.
That's a heads-up play right there, and court awareness, because there's times where you might be ready to get a ball set to you, and if you're not watching where that ball is at, you're out of the play. He was not. He was in the play and got his team a very much needed point.
Kaiser now on serve and played up. Kuntz back there and put away on the near side by Josh Thomas once more.
Not a whole lot that Gutierrez could do on that one. That was a perfectly placed ball, kind of right in between that back row. And we saw the serving a little bit earlier. It went on a nice run. Moncolasana did, and he could finish things out if he goes on another run.
See if he goes low flat here. He will, and way too long.
I think I've jinxed that kid twice in a row now. My bad.
St. Charles fans, Greg Waddell is on Twitter if you want to send your disparaging and negative tweets towards him. He'll be right there to receive them. Benison from the back line again, way too long. St. Charles trying to say it was tipped at the net. That won't happen, though.
That ball was well above and on its way over.
Olentangy back within 3, and Kaler on serve. Caught the line.
Got it.
Can't blame the Cardinals for letting that one go. And now Kaler, they've grazed the back of the line, and now St. Charles will take a timeout here as the Braves have crept back into it, back within 2.
Well, this again is just trying to break up that serving, and watching just the poise right now and at the serve line at a very, very tough time in the match. You got to get those serves in, and we were talking before the match about Sam Kaler and what he means to his team, and for Olentangy, he'll be going to play in Rio Grande and coming up with a couple of big serves. So that's what Ned Gruber is trying to do, the same thing that Emmy Holzclaw did a little earlier, just break up that serve.
And I think also not let Kaler really get into a groove in this match.
Correct.
He's not been a big factor thus far.
So far.
We expect that to change as we go forward, of course. But I think that's the last thing you want to see, especially coming towards the end of the set. Kaler to start getting into a rhythm, and in theory that would bode well for Olentangy throughout the duration of the match going forward.
Sure, you spring that forward into the next matches, or the next sets, 2 and 3, and beyond if need be. But you need your players to get into the match and find a way.
Oh, that's an ace. That was, that's a slider coming off his hand. That was spinning away from Hagnazari, and it just ate him up.
That just breaks fingers is what that does. That's one of those ones, that ball's just cutting away from you, and that was wicked.
He had 6 aces in the semifinal win against DeSales, and now returns the favor with an error.
That's a tough one now.
St. Charles now takes it and is 2 points away from the set. Keon Hagnazari back on serve. And right into the net.
he didn't look comfortable back there in that whole situation, and I'm not sure. It didn't seem like it was the right toss that he had a little bit earlier, so I don't know if he was trying to do something a little bit different, change things up.
Gutierrez throws up the pop fly. Thomas near side. That is soundly rejected by Jacob Neusdorfer. It's been a while since we've called his name, but he makes the play there, and we are level at 23 here in the opener.
Sam Irwin was right next to him as well. They had that well played.
Gutierrez one more time will work towards that left side. The back set, tapped over, blocked down. Irwin there. And now Olentangy has a set point.
And another timeout.
Yep, St. Charles will go ahead and use that timeout. Really good response here, seeing Olentangy come to life here in the last several points of this set.
Well, and it started with Sam Kaler's serve the time before that, before the last timeout, and he picked up like 3 points on that service rotation. And then they were able to, once he missed on his serve, they got a side out right away, got the ball right back, and here you are now at first set point coming from behind to do it. But for the most part, this has really been an evenly played first set. And there's been a couple of runs that both teams have gone on. St. Charles had the bigger of the leads of the two, but it never was out of reach one way or the other. And so we'll see now what Max Kaiser can do. Or no, it's Gutierrez serving, rather, and what Gutierrez can do if he can close things out.
This would be huge for Olentangy, given how hot of a start St. Charles got off to in this set, to be able to stay the course and come back and win it. But Max Gutierrez first has to get this serve in play. Set point for Olentangy. Nearly double contact. Thomas kept up by Kaiser. Neusdorfer pushes that one over. It'll work.
That's a good comeback effort for the Braves, and that's a tough one to swallow. And we talked about trying to keep up that momentum or keep up that adrenaline level that St. Charles brought with them from the commencement. That's something that puts a big old hole in the balloon right away and let the air fly out and see if St. Charles will be able to answer back.
St. Charles with a good start to the set, but couldn't close the deal. Olentangy comes back to take the opening set in this East Regional Final, 25-23, set 2. Up next here in this East Regional Championship. Welcome back. Set 2 of this Division II East Regional Final about to begin. Olentangy wins set 1, 25-23. We welcome you once again back to ESP Media's live and exclusive coverage of OHS BBA Regional Tournament action. OHSBBABroadcasts.com, your exclusive home for OHS BBA Regional and State Championship action. All broadcasts available live and on demand. This is the regional weekend. The first weekend in June, we'll have full coverage of the Division I and Division II state tournaments out at Pickerington Central High School. One of these teams will be there.
Glad you guys told me pick Central. I would have been sitting at Pick North waiting for everybody. Where are you at? Come on, guys, I'm here. Great first set. St. Charles had a lot of momentum going their way early on, and give Olentangy a heck of a lot of credit for just kind of hanging and withstanding that adrenaline. There was no way they were going to be able to equal or match that type of adrenaline that St. Charles brought in with it. Yeah. But they just hung around and made few mistakes.
Well, in that situation, why try to meet their energy when you know eventually it's going to come down and the game can come back to you? And that's kind of what we saw as things went along in the set. Max Gutierrez will start the second set. And the first point to the Cardinals as Ben Franz on the far side.
Well, it'll be fun now to see what St. Charles can do and how they'll answer back if they can kind of manufacture that motivation now.
Kaler from the back line, and that's what he can do.
That's the best swing we've seen so far from Kaler, and that was impressive.
It's amazing how effective some of the guys we've seen, not only here in this match, but in the Division I regional finals, can be effective like that from the back line.
It's a talent now, and I can't wait to watch the Summer Olympics to watch some of that same type of action.
Neusdorfer with a missile that knocks down Hagnazari. Kaiser trying to get a little too clever there, put it into the net.
He's done a couple of those here in the game so far, and think he's gotten it to fall yet, but obviously that's part of his repertoire, and I'm sure we'll see it again. And it's a good play if it works, too.
On the left side, Grover plays it up first. In the middle, Irwin, too long. Olentangy trying to say that was tipped. No.
I don't think so. Yeah. I was watching it. That was fun right out front. Nick Benedict's like, nope, not happening here. Did not touch.
3-1 Cardinals. Kaiser going back to Grover on the far side. It's been a while since he's been involved in the offense. Won't be here, though. Across the far side, there's Nick Benison dropping the hammer.
That was a well-placed shot. He got it right in between the front line, and it dropped off, and the back line protecting deep. Well played.
And now Miller Kuntz puts it into the net. So Stu Hankinson checks back in. Keon Hagnazari will head out on the rotation as Gavin Grover, the freshman for Olentangy, on service. This team trailing 4-2.
He's only 6'4" now. Imagine by the time he's a senior, he's going to be a few inches taller. Nice.
Sam Kaler walked away from the net right there saying, get that out of here, and he's going to get a talking to from the official on the far side. A little bit of extra showmanship right there. As Kaler just gave that look saying, get that mess out of here, and the official saw it and said, hey, we're not going to have that. Can understand the emotion, but also the officials are there to nip that kind of thing in the bud.
It'll be a warning, and next time it'll be a point against. You don't see it happen very often.
No. Kuntz with the back set. Benison right into the net.
Yeah, it set a little bit back off the net. Benison kind of had to take a little sidestep out to not get too far up on the ball, but that set a bit too deep on him.
Grover remains on serve. We're tied at 4. Kuntz going to work near side to Hankinson. That's blocked but kept alive. Benison over his head has to send it through. Kaler gets one.
They're getting him heated up.
He was not much of a factor really at all in the first set, making a huge impact early in set number 2.
You know, and sometimes it can be by design to not necessarily tip your hand too early on some players.
Irwin in the middle, kept up and unable to be saved by Banco Lasana. Olentangy now on a run, leading 6-4, and Grover remains on serve.
Kleiman tried to do a good job just throwing that ball up any way he could to keep it in play for his guys.
Kuntz with the back set, leading his man right into the net and just has to flick it over. Kaler across to collide. Here's Benison again, right off the chest of Grover. Boy, what hustle on the near side by Max Kaiser. And gets back in position. Benison able to be kept alive again. Are you kidding me?
Goodness.
Hankinson down. No. Stayed alive again, and Grover hits it into the net. What a rally there for Olentangy. I don't know how they kept 3 or 4 of those alive.
Best scramble of the night for all matches we've seen so far. And then give credit to St. Charles. They didn't let the emotions get too much to them. They stayed with it on their side after all the scrambling the Braves did on the left side of the screen, and able to keep that ball alive and finally get the point.
That can easily frustrate you, seeing an opponent do that. But to your point, St. Charles kept their head in it.
It happens once, it's frustrating enough. It happens 3 times.
Yeah, and then Benison barely hits the bottom of the tape.
Yeah, it looked like a tough throw. He was almost as high as the ball went on his jump. He's got a pretty wicked serve.
Irwin with the serve here. Good quick set. Kept up by Neusdorfer, but unable to be dug out by Irwin. 7-6. St. Charles now on serve and trailing here with Narit Mankalasana on serve.
And Zach McClyman right there, the benefactor of that quick set. He'll come off.
Another one Too long and too strong from Mongolasana.
Mongolasana had a great run serving that first set early and then put one into the net and has struggled ever since. And
I might have to consider taking a little bit off of that going forward. And you also wonder if the glasses.
That was my thought.
Playing a little factor into that too. Thomas blocked, kept up. Coates into the middle for Benison. Good play in the middle. Well done by Ben Franz. Understanding the middle blockers were not going to be able to get back up again, just dump it in right behind.
Everybody got sucked up or too far back, and perfect location.
Ragarazi there. Thrown off altogether as Grover was eaten up by that one, and Kaler could do nothing with it to try to bail him out.
It kind of had that little floating knuckle to it, and that one got right in on Grover. He let that ball play him.
See if they target Grover again. It won't matter as that ball goes way long, and Olentangy goes back in front 9-8.
They were, though, going after Grover again after the serve right before that. But that was a good serve, too. It looks easier than it really is.
Sam Kaler got himself going late in the first on serve. That is a nasty one, but kept alive.
He knocked two players down on that serve.
That's when you know you've got a good one.
Oh, man. He had two players going down low to dig that out.
10-8. Monko Asana just does yeoman's work just to get that one off the floor.
That was a heck of an up.
Grover, there. Benison and Monko Asana both giving way and finds room, and Olentangy starting to build a lead here, and St. Charles will spend its first timeout of the set.
You see Grover obviously feels a lot more comfortable at the net on the Olentangy side and put that one down with authority. And meantime, the St. Charles side net, Gruber not wanting this one to slip away. Only a 3-point lead at this point for Olentangy, but this has kind of been another game of waves and the emotion. And I think it comes back again to that St. Charles, that all that adrenaline that they had early on, that trying to maintain it, you got to find an equal kind of part of that excitement level to play. You don't want to be too high, because if you do get too high, then it can come down too low. You got to find somewhere right in the middle.
And I think right now they're on the downswing of that emotional run right now, and Olentangy has elevated themselves emotionally and also just technically on the floor to build themselves out the lead here early in the set. To a point you made before about Gavin Grover, his comfort level on the back line, that is going to come.
He's a freshman, right?
He is ready to go now on the front line as a freshman. On the back line, this is invaluable experience this year he's getting.
This kind of playing time he's getting right now is just setting him up for big-time success.
Kaler with another missile. My gosh. Back set across, and a missed time on the jump there from Franz, and he's called for the lift.
Yeah, I think that time Franz got to mistime that jump, and he was trying to hang air as long as he could on that one and nearly pulled it off. Good effort.
Kaler once more.
Man, that serve's just getting tougher.
And what's happening there is the confidence is growing too, and everybody else is feeding off of it.
Yeah.
And boy, I tell you, if we get another couple of points here, St. Charles may have to go ahead and spend its final time out of the set. He went across the way this time, and now Thomas has to send it through. There's Grover again. Gutierrez, good job backing up Grover. Benison from the back line.
Good,
wow.
Big man. Smart set. You needed a stop right there, so you go to your big man, and nice smart play to get that ball back to Nick Benison to put the kill from the back line.
Now you need your freshman Jack Kesters to give you a good serve to try and keep it going. They target Grover again. Kaler says, I can try and do it from the back line, just missed that one on the near side.
He had a good swing on that one, but just missed a bit wide. Right idea.
13-10, Olentangy with the lead. Kesters again, much better that time. It'll be an ace. Just ate up Gutierrez, crossed the tape and just died.
Again, they look easier than they really are. And that is just a good touch serve.
Kesters once more. The tape may have helped Olentangy there. Grover with the left hand, that's blocked. And we go ping pong action for a moment. Benison blocked, may have mistimed the jump. But nevertheless, it works the same as Colin Bargy came in off the bench there to get a piece of that one.
Yeah, first time we've seen Colin Bargy out there, and he was at the right spot at the right time.
6'6" middle blocker getting his team the service back. And now here's Max Gutierrez, who had a nice serving run late in the first set and closed it out. Benison there, and we've got net violation called against Olentangy.
Let's see who he called. It may have been on Neusdorfer.
I think it was Neusdorfer called for contact. Grover.
Look at that, wow.
That's maybe his best rise and hammer of the match. In such good form, his timing was exquisite.
It was good coverage by St. Charles to get there just a tad late and enabled the freshman to put that one home.
Neusdorfer, best pace he's had on a serve in the match. Benison, no, finds space. And to your point before, starting to see St. Charles go back to their number one a bit more right now with Nick Benison, and why wouldn't you, as productive as he's been, but also to try and get you back into the set. Miller Kuntz on serve, his team trailing by 2.
He's got like bionic knees.
Muscle test there, and it's eventually work out for Olentangy. Stu Hankinson back in for St. Charles as Gavin Grover goes on serve. He had a big serving run earlier in the set. Kuntz behind to Benison. Not the best pass, couldn't put anything on it. Neusdorfer from the back. Hankinson just has to play it through. Kaler, not the best pass, and Benison with the rejection. The pass really took Kaler out of any ability to do anything with it, but Nick Benison still right where he needed to be.
Well, I mean, Kaler was just going to try to get a hand on it, was all he was going to be able to do, and Benison read that play all the way right there to reject.
Benison back on serve. That ball just able to be kept up, and Kaler poked it through, and it'll be a point back to St. Charles as Kaler had difficulty handling the first touch.
Agnazari right there had the angle cut off, and
Benison into the net. Took a little off of that one and too much. Sam Irwin goes back now on serve as the Braves again have a 2-point lead here in the set. Olentangy leads the match 1-0. Good back tap by Miller Kuntz to keep the offense alive. Now Kaler, my goodness.
Yikes.
Is Miller Kuntz all right?
That knocked him back 10 feet, sliding back, and he took that one off the shoulder, the arm, and
he's still shaking that right shoulder loose. He's going to feel that tomorrow.
I feel it now.
Yes. Good set, though. Not much able on the through, and now I think we've got a double contact there in the middle from Bargy. Once again, the effervescent "you can't do that" chant lets you know you're in a high school contest from across the way. Narit Mongolisana on serve. Took a little off, maybe a little too much that time. Here's Kaler.
Another tough one. I got touched at the net, so the only effort that Benison could do on that one was try to dive and hope. Gave it a great ride. Great effort.
Max Kaiser on serve. Olentangy 19, St. Charles 16 here in set number 2. Not sure what Mongolisana was looking for on that one. Looked like he was surprised it kept coming towards him, if anything.
I wonder if he got hit in warmups and it maybe bent the glasses or the frames, or because he almost after every play he's kind of playing around with those glasses.
I think it has to be what happened. And again, that is not an easy thing to try to have to navigate through, and there's nothing you could do about it right now.
But they were most definitely taking a look at those, trying to figure something out. But 4-point lead now for the Braves here in set number 2. They won the first set by 2 points. So this has been a tight match all the way through. Neither team's been up by more than, maybe five points at any one point of the match.
I think what you're seeing, though, is the emotion still. St. Charles trying to work their way back up, close to what they had in the first set, whereas Olentangy's just been steady across the way.
Not too high, not too low,
right.
But got to give it up to the St. Charles. Their student section came ready to play too, and they're trying to help get that emotion back, that highs and the lows, and that could be a hard thing to coach to try and keep your guys in control, because sometimes you're trying to do too much, things that you're not capable of or maybe shouldn't be doing at that particular point.
Max Kaiser remains on serve out of the timeout. Uncle Asana handles that one a lot better. Benison from the back line, got it there. Tipped in the middle by Bargy, but enough force on it from Benison to get the serve back.
Yeah, it was kind of right in between. Bargy had the hands up, but not quite straight on line with the ball, and that one just kind of grazed his hands as it went by, and nobody was going to touch that one.
Keon Hognazari with this one. The left-hander gets it over. Kaler, the back tap. Bargy over. Should be a good chance here for St. Charles. Thomas catches a break. A wry smile on the senior. I think he knows he got away with one.
It counts. That's all that matters. Point his team, and he got to touch it, hit the top of the net, still got it to pop over.
Timeout now, Olentangy. Again, I think another, to your point, just trying to break up the serve here if you can from Hognazari. 2-point lead for the Braves.
Well, Emmy Holzclaw's got a whole staff of coaches with her over there, so I think it's one of those things. Just slow that rush down. You still got the lead, so if you could break this serve right now, then you're just 4 points away from set. But if St. Charles gets another point or two, now you're all even, and it's a different feel to things as you head into those final few points of this set.
And I have to think that's indeed was the strategy, try to break up the serve right there. That team huddle for Olentangy didn't even last 25 seconds of the 60 allotted in the timeout.
That's just a straight break up any kind of momentum, or don't let that momentum start for Hognazari, who's actually been pretty steady back there.
20-18, St. Charles trails here in the set, but Hognazari will try and draw his team closer.
And that's a smart serve, just get it over.
Kaler blocked by Josh Thomas.
We'll give Hognazari credit because that's a smart serve. No jump serve, not trying to do too much. Just do what you need to do to get it over, put the ball in play, and force Olentangy to return.
Grover still having issues handling those serves, and now Gutierrez just has to bump it over from the back line. St. Charles with a golden chance here to tie the set. Thomas does it. Kaler was there, but couldn't keep it in. We are level at 20. So the timeout, at least it appears for the moment, has not stopped the serving momentum. Neusdorfer playing on the left side right now. Thomas in there, block. Benison keeps it up, and just bad luck there. Neusdorfer did the right thing and put it down immediately.
That was the reach and the height. Neusdorfer was able just to not let that ball get too deep on him. He attacked the ball.
You can't coach 6'7".
No, you cannot.
And now the man who got Olentangy off to a lead earlier in the set, Sam Kaler, is back on serve. That was what may be the perfect time before
that was
the
a
Braves.
Quick rotation too.
Yes.
To get him back around to the serve.
He gave St. Charles all kinds of fits on his last turn on serve, and here he goes again. And we'll do it again.
A for effort.
5-yard penalty for the false start. Kaler will go once more. Took a little off and sailed it long. I think he tried to get a little too safe with that serve to make sure he got it in play.
It was almost like he changed his mind when he was up in the air
Yeah.
and what he was going to do. And some of that has to do with where the ball is. You know, if you don't get the right toss or the right spin, you're changing mid-flight. That's tough to do.
Kesters with a serve over. Left-hand touch off the antenna from Grover, and now St. Charles has the lead here in the second. What a turn of events this could be to see St. Charles dig out from a hole and try and take the second set, a role reversal from set number one.
Mirror image of the last game, for sure.
Still got work to do, though. Grover barely handles that one. Kuntz missed time. They got away with one there. Didn't time that up exactly right. It doesn't matter, though, and Olentangy will burn its second timeout.
Well, I think he saw that opening, so all he wanted to do was hit the ball. He knew where he wanted to hit it. Didn't matter how hard he hit it. But at that point, when Millard Kuntz saw that all the Olentangy players were kind of sucked over to that left side and that back deep corner of the far side was open, he knew that's where he needed to go. And he almost mistimed it, you're right, but he just wanted to get any part of that he could and have enough to get it over there.
Hence the chance of Miller time from the St. Charles student section across the way. I'm sure some of those kids in that student section also came here straight from commencement ceremonies as well, so they're fired up.
There's, I'm sure, some seniors over there coming to support their boys. And it's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's a great time of life, man.
St. Charles 23, Olentangy 21 here in set number two with freshman Jack Kesters on serve for St. Charles as they try and close this out and even the match at one set apiece. These two teams did not meet during the regular season. Grover takes this one. Grover's going to get it back, and Grover's going to get the point. That's some confidence right there from the coaching staff, and also Max Kaiser in the middle to go right back to the freshman, Gavin Grover, after he put one into the antenna his last touch.
Freshman breaks up the serve of a freshman at the other side.
And now a freshman, Max Gutierrez, serves it here. Benison, wow.
He just unloaded. He took his arm back as far as he possibly could to wind up on that drive.
And now Ben Franz on serve. St. Charles has 2 set points to work with. And it's an ace and the set to the Cardinals.
Well, they're making it worth the wait for everybody here tonight. We're going to go at least 4.
So Olentangy withstands the emotional start to take set 1, and now St. Charles withstands Olentangy's hot start in set 2 to steal the second and draw us level at 1 set apiece. St. Charles wins set 2, 25-22. The all-important third set is coming up here next in this East Regional Final. The third set about to begin in this OHS BVA Division II East Regional Final as St. Charles levels the match after winning set 2, 25-22. We certainly hope you're enjoying our coverage here of this event on OHSBVABroadcasts.com. ESP Media, the exclusive home of the OHS BVA Regional and State Championships. You can watch all broadcasts of the Regional and State Tournament live and on demand at your leisure. OHSBVABroadcasts.com. Really good action in the first 2 sets between these two teams here. Very evenly matched teams. It's interesting they didn't play each other during the regular season. We're almost looking at mirror images of each other, just
Seems
like we
like
saw the mirror first set, kind of a role reversal in the second set. Similar story, you're just flip-flopping the teams.
Yeah, exactly the case. And the stories to how they got here. You got the 3-seed Olentangy upsetting the 2-seed St. Francis de Sales in straight sets nonetheless. And then you got St. Charles that knocked off the number 1 seed out of the East Region D2. Also with, it actually took 5 sets for the St. Charles to get through here. So they had the emotional match that they had to go through a couple of nights ago. But then dealing with the emotion of graduation here tonight. So
yeah. These don't look like 3 and 4 seeds to me from
No,
what we've
not
seen
at all.
through 2 sets.
Well, and we said it earlier in one of the D1 matches. You've got so many teams that are so evenly matched in the Columbus regions that you see a lot of teams just beating up on each other.
Miller Kuntz here to Benison. Kaler has it on the back line. Neusdorfer up on the sideline. Clever play from Neusdorfer.
Well, he got the initial block that popped that ball up, and then he went right back, waited for the set, and put it home. And now he'll go back and serve. That's how you get it done there, Jacob Neusdorfer.
Neusdorfer with that left hand, a miss hit all the way. Looked like he hit that one strictly off of his thumb.
He was trying to cut that ball and just miss-hit the cut. And
Ben Franz now serves it up.
Sliced that one into the rough.
And Franz returns a serve. That one not even close. And it sends Gavin Grover, the freshman, back on serve. He's been most comfortable in the back line on the serve.
Yep.
It's been the other areas when he's been on the back line that have been a bit of a challenge for him here. Again, remember, he is just a freshman.
But the fact that Coach Holzclaw keeps putting him out there.
And nothing he can do with that one from Nick Benison.
That's just a simple dig, set, spike. That's how you get it done. 1, 2, 3, and nice job, St. Charles. All even at 2 in the third set.
Miller Kuntz, not the best toss, but it still eats up Gutierrez. And Kaler not going to be able to get much on this one. Kuntz, tough pass. Benison blocked. Moncalasana keeps it up. The next play to Benison. Trying to push it over right to the chest of Neusdorfer. And now Kaler with a miss hit into the net. Awkward plays on both sides. The break goes to St. Charles.
And Kaler was in a good position to get that one over, too. Wasn't really that high for the swing that he took on it, but his eyes lit up.
In the middle, Irwin. Can't get it to go. Here's Benison. Gutierrez is there. Kaler, not the best pass over, and he's still going to make it work. Good players make up for it in situations like that. I think that pass led him a little further than he would have liked, but he still made it work.
The ability to be able to adjust mid-flight when you have to kind of find out where that set's at, that just comes straight out of practice. All the practice time you put into it.
Kuntz, quick set, and just eats up Grover on the back line. Gavin Grover continues to be the target for St. Charles when he's on the back line. We'll see where Nick Benison goes here on serve.
Well, that was just a smash from the quick set right in the middle. That was a tough one for anybody to handle.
He'll go with Kaler. Thomas is there, though. Not the best spacing from Olentangy right there.
They didn't get up after digging out that serve. A little slow to get back, and that two-handed stump job.
Thomas found a wide open space on that near front right side. Thomas tried it again. Kaiser got a piece of it. It's punched over. Here is Kaler. Manco Asano with a nice one. Here's Thomas. Good rally. From the back line, Manco Asano, another terrific dig. Thomas over, dug back out by Neusdorfer.
Oh.
Thomas again. Gutierrez keeps it alive. Kaler to Benison. Here is Kuntz. Back set over, and finally down by Agdazari in the best rally we may have seen throughout the evening here.
Most well played rally on both sides. Technically sound, good sets. For the most part, 3 hits.
6-3 in favor of St. Charles, but Benison gives it away. Those are the type of things that can times get some momentum, get you on a run. But unfortunately, Nick Benison couldn't follow it up, and now Max Kaiser looks for his serving target.
Well, that could be another one of those times where you got too much adrenaline.
Yeah.
Trying to do too much.
And not even close there from Kaiser, a serving error from the senior. And so now Narit Manco Asano, who had a couple of huge digs on that long rally, now gets to serve. He's been a little inconsistent with the serve here in the match. Let's see what he comes up with here. Pretty good one. It eats up Gutierrez, but he keeps it alive.
That was good and confident.
Kuntz over to Thomas. Block kept up by Bargy. Kaler winds up, and there you go.
Yeah, he had nobody in front of him to block that one down. He just had to paint that one inside the lines. And
now he rotates back and goes on serve.
And they'll be headed to play at Rio Grande, first team All-East Region D2.
Future Red Storm. Pops that one up. Here is Thomas going right to Kaler, who digs it out.
Ooh, that looked like a double.
Kaler from the back line. Bennison is there. Thomas back to Bennison. Got it. Off the antennas. Kaler couldn't quite get over in time, and now St. Charles leads 8-5 in this critical third set. Akazari back to serve. He had a huge serving run late in the second. The pop fly variety this time. Grover kept up by Thomas, but across. The back set, Neustorfer got it.
Nice back set that time, as you had all the indications you were going to go to the left side to Grover on the outside, but that nice little back set to Neustorfer, and
there you see again a lefty working on that right side, gives him more room to work. Gutierrez, the freshman.
Ooh.
Tough play there. Bennison kept up by Kaler. Neustorfer with that left hand again. This time it's kept alive. Kuntz trying to get it over, and it does, but Grover kept it alive. Could have easily been called a double hit there. Doesn't matter anyway, as Ben Franz buries it in the middle. 9-6, St. Charles with the lead. Josh Thomas will get a breather. Jack Kester's back in. Now the Olentangy student section trying to get its team fired up. Grover, beauty.
that'll get him healthy again. That'll get him in the right mindset. That was a nice late swing.
And, of course, being back up on the front line where he's been most comfortable tonight will help. Jacob Neustorfer goes deep in that far corner where he's been serving all night with that left hand. Try and get his team back within one here in the third. Franz didn't get that one over. A battle of strength there. Gutierrez up. Grover going to try it again. And
hit the antenna.
Hit the antenna, yes it did. Signal coming from the far line of line judge. And Ben Franz back to serve. St. Charles leading 10-7.
Yeah, that was a tough set for Grover to handle.
Gutierrez off to the side. The back set, Neustorfer pushes it over.
Yeah,
Akazari there as Miller Kuntz tried to play a little soccer with it on the far side. Still, neither team able to establish a run here in the third.
I'm going to go ahead and jinx this now. You know this got all the feels of a 5.
Grover with the serve this time in the middle, and a bit of a missed time there from McClyman. It all works as a point either way. 11-8 with Miller Kuntz back on serve, and the Cardinals looking to extend the lead.
He was treading air there just to try to stay up to get a piece of that ball, and it worked out.
Helps to have those long digits.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
Kaler goes different that time, but it's easily read, and here is Bennison near side, way too long. Low and flat and never had any kind of downward trajectory at all.
Yeah, I think that set just kind of caught him back just a little bit, missed time to hit. And that's what will send him long.
Sam Irwin with the serve this time. Not the best play from Bennison there, and that catches the back line. McClyman finds the range.
He's giving them some good rotations when he comes through. Talking about Zach McClyman.
Yeah.
Another one of the seniors who are now graduates of St. Charles Prep.
Smart move by Kaler on the far side to let that one go over the sideline.
We taught our kids, you put your feet right on that line. If you have to reach out, there's no reason to reach out. The ball's going to be out. Don't hit it.
Max Kaiser on serve, his team trailing 12-10. And he sends it long. He has had some issues with that floater here in the third.
He had some success in that first set, so it's kind of left him here for a little bit.
Narit Moncalasana. See what he does and see if he continues with the low flat. A little more downward trajectory that time just to play it safe and over. Neusdorfer on that far side. Mongolisano with the dig. Here is Thomas. Caught. Gavin Grover with his feet nailed to the floor, and Grover continues to struggle in that back left corner.
That was a tough one. He kind of got sucked more towards the middle, and he wasn't able to get back off to his left in the right corner.
Neusdorfer can't really do anything with it. Good chance here for St. Charles. Good back set. Thomas.
Oh, nice.
Nicely done by Gutierrez. Here's Kaler. Off the chest of Kuntz and over.
That's 4 hits.
No, it'll be there. Double contact.
Well, it was 4 hits. And
you could call it either one.
Yeah, and good effort. They tried to sell it, but they made it look good.
Keep playing until they blow the whistle.
Why not? You ain't trying if you ain't cheating if you're not trying.
That's right. Sam Kaler on serve. His team trailing by 3. The Braves could use a run from their star as
that's bad luck.
Bad luck there as the play from Mongolisano played off the basketball goal high atop the gymnasium here and angled backward away from the back line.
That's the first time all night we've seen those come into play.
Kaler will try it again. Catches net. Benison from the back line. Beautiful. Said nope. We're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, that was impressive.
St. Charles killed by Nick Benson.
Coaching staff from Olentangy, I think maybe trying to say Benison stepped on or over the back line.
It might have been
And the official up top says no, there was a good 2 inches there.
Unless I wonder too is he had a little attitude with it after that hit too.
Ooh, awkward first play. Kaler struggling right now. And St. Charles continues to enjoy a small lead. It stands now at 16-12.
This is about as far a lead as we get either way.
It'll be one more now as Grover was eaten up on that serve, and I think Olentangy is going to take a timeout here, and they will. St. Charles has found themselves a target on serve, and it's freshman Gavin Grover, and he has struggled more and more as the match has gone on in handling those services. And also the types of variety of serve that St. Charles is throwing at him. That's a lot to ask of a freshman in this situation.
Well, in this situation being a regional final, when you throw that on top of everything else, but the types of serves, that's a great point as well. You've got a lot of change of paces. You've got some really, really serves with a lot of pace on them. Then you got those knucklers and a lot of the serves that just have so much downward trajectory on them, the top spin.
But what you're also not seeing, though, from Olentangy is seeing coaching staff pull Grover out, even just for a rotation, just to let him clear his head out. They're leaving him out there, and I think that's big for him going forward, that they believe in him.
The faith that you put,
going. Yeah,
the faith that you put in him, and when you get him back on that front row, he's a weapon.
Keon Hagnarazi on serve again, his team leading by 5. Gutierrez will be the recipient this time. Kaler from the back line, kept up.
Oh, another ceiling shot.
Off the ceiling and tailed backward away from Mongolisano, and he couldn't quite get to it. So 2 unfortunate breaks right there for the Cardinals.
That had a lot to do with the pace Sam Kaler had on that shot, though, too, that sent it up that high that quick.
Gutierrez on serve. Kuntz behind. Franz kept it up. They'll try near side with Thomas. Gutierrez, good hustle. Neusdorfer now to Benison. Good back and forth action. Thomas trying to make sure he cleared the blockers, sent it too far over the sideline.
Nick Benison is such a good player front and back line, and that was a tough get to even get his team a chance to get into that point, keeping that ball alive.
Mongolisano goes down. Benison from the back line, right into the chest of Kaler, plays it beautifully. He'll get it back and return the favor.
That was a couple of heavyweights right there. Benison, St. Charles, dug out nicely by Kaler, and then Kaler puts it home.
That kind of force on that is an incredible dig from Sam Kaler. Most players, that ball is going to eat up in no time flat, and I think Coach Gruber sensing Kaler, maybe that'll get him going. Let's take a timeout here and see if we can stop that. St. Charles spends the timeout. They lead 17-15 here in the third set. We are level at one set apiece.
The first timeout of the 3 matches we've done here tonight. We'll go more than 3. We got 9 more matches tomorrow on OHSBVABroadcast.com. You see it on your screen right there. Check out the website, all the times for all those matches tomorrow. Jason and myself will be down in the Dayton area tomorrow at Centerville, and then Jason and our producer Zach will head on down to Cincinnati to Princeton as I finish things up in Centerville. And
we'll have coverage there. We're starting in the West region out at Centerville, head south to Princeton. We're also going to have Richard Skinner and our executive producer Rob Ebel heading north up to Jackson to cover the North region, both Division I and Division II. So you're going to get all that coverage on OHSBVABroadcast.com. They're available, of course, live, but also on demand too. Go back and watch it whenever you want.
It's a beauty.
Speaking of beauty, there's one from Gutierrez, just ate up Narit Moncalasana. And the ace for the freshman brings his team within 1 here in the third. You can sense the intensity growing in this third set. Both teams fully understanding how critical this set is.
There's your coach's point, maybe 1 point later, but Coach Gruber for St. Charles knows that Gutierrez can get into a run. Didn't want to see that happen. He got 1 point out of it, but stopped that run fairly quick, and St. Charles gets the serve back.
Jack Kester's on serve, his team leading by 2.
Well, the role freshmen are playing in this game.
Neusdorfer there, got it.
Had a little change of pace on that one. He didn't throw that one as hard down and didn't really go across as much either. He was just trying to paint the back line, and he got it to fall, and 1 point match again.
Neusdorfer on serve to try and bring us level in the third. Not as high of a toss that time. Still a tough one for Benison. He'll try and recover. Grover going to get a swing at it. That is blocked and just wide. No more than a couple of inches over that far sideline, and we are indeed level in the third.
They made it worth the wait, didn't they?
Through,
yes or no?
Through 2 full sets and heading toward the end of the third. These two have delivered.
This has been fun. That was the other Coach Gruber, Joe Gruber. I don't know if they're brothers. I need to check that out. Ned's the younger and the head coach, and Joe's the older.
Trying to get clever. Hagnarazi was right there for it. Benison. Good dig by Gutierrez. Kaiser keeps it in play. Now they've got to get it over, and they do. St. Charles trying to say it did not make it inside the antenna.
I had a pretty good little view of that, and I think it did.
I think it did too.
Yeah, they're not going to like it. They didn't have the angle we did, but they're going to say it was almost an impossible angle, but
that was a heck of a play by Neusdorfer to get it inside the antenna.
You've got the up ref on the far side looking right down the line. And
he's got a better view than anyone. Don't blame the St. Charles reaction for that.
No, not at all.
That's impossible to tell from their spot, but nevertheless, Olentangy has moved ahead now in the third. That blocked, but kept up by Kuntz. Benison will try it. Kaiser popped up, though. Kuntz across the way. Benison one more time. Got that one, and we are tied at 19.
The emotion Nick Benison plays with, he's maintained that whole emotion the entire match thus far. He's fun to watch.
Kaler from the back line doesn't put much on it. Not the best play over, and it's going to work out in favor of the Braves as Ben Franz with a poor play off of a pretty routine ball from Kaler. And the Braves once again go ahead 20-19.
And that was just a little bit more strength for the freshman, Gavin Grover. He's a thick young man.
Here's Grover on serve. Another tough play to begin up there, and I think we've got net contact from Miller Kuntz.
He's got to be careful.
He knows it. He knows it. No argument there. Really got into a shoving match there at the net, and St. Charles will use a timeout here as Olentangy has surged ahead to a 2-point lead here late in the third.
Well, I'll give Miller Kuntz a lot of credit on that one. That's the kind of play in gym class that'll work.
Yes.
But when you're playing in the state regional finals, doesn't necessarily work. You got some eagle-eye officials up there watching that one, but a great effort. I'll tell you what, I really, really enjoy watching Nick Benison play on the St. Charles side of things. The attitude that he brings from both the front and the back line. He is just a very well-versed player at both sides of the court. And then on the other side, we've talked about it beforehand, Sam Kaler. You kind of see him along with Jacob Neusdorfer. Those two are the kind of the lifeblood, it seems like right now, on the Olentangy side of things. And although we can't also forget who's getting ready to serve, the freshman Gavin Grover.
Kaler and Neusdorfer, the leaders now. Grover and Max Gutierrez are the future
Without
of this Olentangy team.
It's always fun when you can blend the two.
There's your guy again, Zach McClyman, coming in out of the timeout and making an impact.
He's made so many plays right there in the middle.
And he's not been a guy who's been consistently in. He's just, when he comes in off the bench, he's produced.
He's pretty much just the frontline guy when they rotate him around.
Boots on serve. Here is Kaler, going to get a good crack at this one. Monco Lasano with an excellent dig here, and Benison.
Nice.
And we are tied at 21. Nick Benison looking back at Miller Coots saying, let's go, keep going. The third set level at 21. It has been tight from the opening serve of the match. Well, an awkward play, and Irwood just has to guide it over. Agnarazi there, and
over.
St. Charles.
They called a lift.
They called a lift on the near side of Agnarazi. I think St. Charles was trying to say Kaler was over.
He was well over.
Yeah, I thought so too.
But the difference is you didn't interfere with the ability to try and make a play on the ball, and what ended up happening was Agnarazi ended up with the lift.
So perhaps a break for Olentangy. Benison, that is an anger play right there. My gosh. Not only to slam that down, but the power walk away from it.
That was exclamation mark.
Yes.
Times 3.
Here he is on serve. We are tied at 22 in the third. That is going to be an ace. Collision there between Grover and Kaler. And that's one right there. If you're the freshman, Gavin Grover, you've got to cede to the senior on the play, and Olentangy will now take a timeout. Don't tell either one of these teams they're the third and fourth seed and statistically shouldn't have been here.
Well, either one of these teams are going to have a nice showing next week. Whoever survives out of here tonight to advance on next weekend to the state semifinals for Division II are going to make a very, very nice showing. They're both, for the most part, obviously well coached, first of all. That goes without saying, but they don't seem to let too much happen. They haven't gone too far one way or the other. This game, like we said, 5 points, has that been the biggest lead either team has had?
I think so, in that range, 5, 6, yeah, well-disciplined.
Well-disciplined.
Both these teams are, and it's impressive because you have so many freshmen playing in this game. Maybe some of that youthful exuberance. Maybe they don't know. They're supposed to be nervous. They're not supposed to produce here in a regional final.
The old adage, you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly. Here is junior Nick Benison on serve, but right into the net. That's why you use a timeout in that juncture.
That's a Coach Emmy Holzclaw point right there. At a crucial point of the match.
Now, Max Kaiser has had a rough third set on service. He needs a good one here. With the tied at 23.
Put it all behind you, and he
does. Eight Benison alive. And all of a sudden, Olentangy has a set point. And now, I think St. Charles is trying to call a timeout. The official trying to say you already used both of yours. Can't call it. Maybe it delays Kaiser enough, though.
Yep.
We'll see. Max Kaiser, I should say, for the third set. Josh Thomas kept alive and over. Kaler buries it away. And the third set of what is turning into an instant classic goes the way of the Olentangy Braves.
Oh, this is fun. Gotta love it. And this is just getting us ready for tomorrow and all next weekend.
The teams in the other three regions have a high bar to match if they're going to try and equal what we've seen here through 3 sets. Olentangy wins the third, 25-23. They now lead 2-1. Should be an exciting 4th set. It's coming up next in this East Regional Final. This East Regional Final being played late on a Friday night. The state semifinals will not be until a week from Saturday. And Greg, I think whomever comes out as the winner in this match is going to relish that extra day off.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, you think about it. It's a little bit of an advantage when it's all said and done with. But and these guys, they're young guys. They can bounce back a lot quicker than you or I could.
Yeah.
Way more than I could. I'll tell you that. But that being said, there's nothing wrong with a good night's sleep, knowing that you've had that opportunity to move on. Mentally, now you start to get ready for things. You've got 3 other teams that are going to be battling. Well, 6 teams battling for those 3 spots that are going to still have to wait another day before they know what they're.
And I think also it's a chance to, in that situation, to not only physically but emotionally recover from what has been a great match thus far. And by the way these 2 teams have played through the first 3 sets, I don't expect it to change here in the 4th. Of course, St. Charles has to win the 4th to keep the match going. Olentangy, of course, coming back there in the 3rd. They've won both their sets by a score of 25-23. St. Charles winning the 2nd, 25-22.
3 points or 2 points separating each of the first 3 sets. That's pretty dynamic. And that shows you 2 very evenly matched squads.
Yes. It'll be freshman Max Gutierrez of Olentangy to get things started here in the 4th set of this Division II East Regional Final. Marco Osana right face in the ribs there.
Knocked his glasses off again.
Yeah, it did. Marco Osana still having issues with those glasses. That one, unfortunately, took the brunt of the blow. And so Gutierrez with the ace. Coons, good job to play that back to Benison. And Grover keeps it alive. Irwin in the middle, just wide.
They haven't gone to that play much at all that I can remember. And that's the first real good tough swing Sam Irwin's got to have in this match. I'm sure that's one he'd like to have back.
Ben Franz on serve. Guys are going far side to Grover. Has to play with the left hand, and it works as Franz is unable to fill in behind his blockers. And it's 2 of the first 3 here in the 4th go to Olentangy. Jacob Neusdorfer on that far side, as has been the case all night long. Throw it up and send it forward with the left hand. Benison, that's a solid play. He'll get it back. I think they're going to get Grover with the lift. That's close.
I'll tell you what, the up official was behind the play. For him to make that call, that's a tough one for him to make. But I think it was the right call, but that's one usually the down rep will make. Got a better view of it.
Coons looking for Gutierrez here on the serve. Again, Kaiser has not been throwing some good balls out to that left side there. He's let his man into the net several times, but St. Charles can't handle a rather routine ball on its side.
I don't even know if that's routine. That was just like a change-up little tip over the net that I don't think anybody knew really what to do with it. That's not one you can really practice. That's kind of a tough play.
Grover now to play it through. Marco Osana pops it straight up, and here is Hankinson, the freshman. Clever play. Wise beyond his years with that play, Stu Hankinson.
We've been talking about all these other freshmen, Gutierrez and Grover on one side, and on the other side of things, Kester, but throwing another freshman there making some noise.
Well, Kaler may have been better served to let that one go. Thought that was headed out over the sideline. Kuntz over to Thomas. He's been quiet for a while, and Sam Irwin intends to keep him that way.
That was such a smart play by Max Kaiser, though. That was one of those plays where he could have tried to hit the ball as it was going towards the net. He let it go into the net, played it out of the net, and then popped it over to Kaler, who was able to get it back up, and unfortunately then you get a service error and give the ball right back.
So Irwin with the error. He heads out. Narit Mankalasana on serve here, tied at 4 in the fourth. Remember, St. Charles must win this fourth set to keep the match going. Kaler blocked down. What a play on the far side by Agnarazi.
Well, he had shoulder-to-shoulder. Ben Franz was right there with him as well, but Keon Agnarazi all over that one.
5-4 in favor of the Cardinals. Grover, another tough handle of service. It's punched over and deep. Agnarazi with that left hand. Gutierrez there. Tussle again at the top. Benison will get a try at it. It's kept alive in the middle by Bargy. What a back set to Neusdorfer from Max Kaiser.
Not only is that a back set, but that is a back set 5 feet behind him at a tough angle. When you're back setting at the front of the net, you know that there's going to be somebody right behind you. That's an easier set. That was at a tough, weird angle, and for Neusdorfer to put that one down, that was an impressive play.
Kaiser now on serve. Kuntz with the back set across the way. Agnarazi. Kaiser keeps it up. Neusdorfer with the left hand, trying to go with the change. It's read by Agnarazi. Benison coming from the back line. Way too much on that. Way too flat. He's trying to say it was tipped. The officials look around for any confirmation of it. There is no tip. Point to Olentangy.
I think players instinctively do that. When they miss one that bad, no, there's no way I missed it that bad. That had to have been tipped. That's kind of the instinct that players have. I don't blame them.
Kaiser just over and punched up by Franz. Benison caught Grover by surprise on that back line.
Well, that was on the second shot, so he went over from deep and threw it deep into the back line.
See if Agnarazi targets Gavin Grover on the far corner on this service. Instead, he targets the middle of the net.
He was looking that way, though.
Sam Kaler on serve. Agnarazi does good work just to keep it alive. Boy, what work from both sides. Gutierrez now to Neusdorfer. Out of a miss hit, and he got away with it. I think that only made contact with his ring and his pinky finger across the way.
It was a spinner going towards the side and still found it. How about, first off, the serve that Kaler put up there, and then he almost got caught watching and then had to dive just to keep that ball up when it came back at him.
8-6 Olentangy. Blanco Lasana, nice job to keep that one through. Thomas just has to send it over. Good chance here. Neusdorfer takes advantage of it, and another ball that Manco Asana just can't get out of the way of. Try as he might, there's just only so much you can do with it.
That ball was right at his shoulder. No way you get your hand up in time to even get a piece of that one. You're just hoping his shoulder will tip it up straight up in the air.
3-point lead for the Braves here in the fourth, and Kaler sends it into the tape. Had to think there, if he's able to put another point on the board, we would have seen a St. Charles timeout.
Yeah, I think he could have been right.
Jack Kester's now in, and he will serve as Josh Thomas rotates out for the moment. 9-7, St. Charles trails here in the fourth set. Gutierrez playing head off his biceps. Here is Grover. Kuntz near side. Benison popped up. Kaler from the back line, and Agnarazi got caught in between with the dig or the set.
That's when it just gets on you so fast, you're not really sure how to react, which way to go, but
it doesn't take long for that indecisiveness to get you, and that's what happened to Keon Agnarazi there.
This is an important stop right now for St. Charles with Gutierrez serving.
Coates across the way, Benison wide.
And Gutierrez got out of the way of that drive, and good thing he did. He wasn't going to pop that up if he did, but St. Charles needs to stop right now because this one could slip away kind of quick.
We're going to see Coach Gruber come up and call a timeout. He'll play this one out, though. Wide, and I think we may now see a St. Charles timeout, and we will. Olentangy building a lead now here in the fourth, looking to close out this regional final. They lead St. Charles now 12-7 as the Cardinals call for time.
Again, we got to say a big thanks to all the folks here at Westerville Central High School for their hospitality. We got here early this afternoon and getting set for our first match that took place, well, several hours ago. We got here, about 3:30 this afternoon, but just a phenomenal facility. This school, and I know you looked up some of the school. How old is it, or how?
Built in 2003, beautiful facility here.
Incredible building, and the folks at Westerville taking good care of their students, and all the different schools around the district, and Westerville Central Warhawks hosting things here tonight, and we'll get equal hospitality tomorrow. The different schools that you and I will be at. I'll be at Centerville High School tomorrow in Dayton. You'll be at Centerville and Princeton High Schools down in Cincinnati, and Richard Skinner, Rob Ebel, they will be up at Jackson High School in Massillon.
Needless to say, ESP Media has you covered for the OHS BBA tournament.
As we have, except for last year, that wasn't our fault.
Gutierrez on serve once again. Quick play into the middle. Franz couldn't get it down. Here's Grover on the far side. Been a while since he's had a good swing at it. It's kept alive.
Oh.
And now confusion in the middle. Manco Lasana and Ben Franz not on the same page, and it's now a 6-point Braves lead.
And that's unfortunate for St. Charles because that's coming out of the timeout. You hope to stop that run.
Kuntz to the near side. Benison just a bit off on the timing. That was a wonderful play by Kuntz across the way. Not an easy play for Benison to make, and wasn't able to do it, and now the lead is up to 7.
That may be the biggest lead of the whole match for either team.
I think it is. St. Charles having all kinds of problems now handling the Gutierrez serve, and Irwin trying to make it worse, can't do it. Benison kept up by Kaler. And I think we have net contact there, or double contact. Call either way, the ball and the point goes to St. Charles.
Well, there were some mistakes after the timeout on the St. Charles side, but then Olentangy paid him back. But still, a 6-point lead now St. Charles got to dig out of.
And Greg, your guy, Zach McClyman, checks into the middle for St. Charles.
He makes stuff happen right there in the front.
See if Ben Franzo got to get it in play first after a brief conversation between our down ref and the Olentangy coaching staff. Long.
Wow.
Not by much, but long.
That right there was as good as a timeout by Emmy Holzclaw. Just a little gamesmanship there, talking to the ref and getting in the head of the server. St. Charles knew they needed the point, and
Neusdorfer over. Here's Benison. Got it.
Yeah, there wasn't much Gutierrez could do on that one, on that cross. And
I think he made the right play. Just happened to catch the line. So 15-9, and I wonder if St. Charles has got to get a run going. Miller Kuntz might be the one to do it.
Yes, he can.
Neusdorfer near side. And a collision there. It's set over.
Double.
And it is indeed a double from Miller Kuntz. I think he thought there might have been contact from both Thomas and Manco Lasana, and therefore thought his play was number 3.
That could have been, yeah.
Gavin Grover, the freshman, back on serve. His team leading by 7 here in the fourth.
That's your go-to guy.
It hits the antenna.
Oh.
And did everything right, but couldn't find the accuracy inside the antenna. That was picture-perfect offense until the antenna contact, and St. Charles is going to go ahead and spend its final timeout here in the fourth.
An 8-point lead now is most definitely the biggest lead either team has had in this match.
Like St. Charles has just never really been in sync offensively here in this set.
Well, go back to that serve, the service opportunity when Gutierrez came around to his rotation, and it's just been out of sync ever since that point. It was still a 2-point game at that point, and it just quickly evolved away from St. Charles. And so now you're at that, and you hate to use this term, with high school, but a hangover from the excitement level that they had a little bit earlier coming off the commencement graduation ceremony that the St. Charles seniors went through. And again, congratulations to all of them. But
yes.
to maintain that level of enthusiasm that they started the match with was going to be hard to do. And now you're kind of in that down spot, and it's going to be tough to dig out of down 8.
And you've got to manufacture it on your own.
Yeah.
At this point, your student section can only help you so much. Grover back on serve.
That'll do it.
That'll help.
Yep.
There's your guy, Zach McClyman in the middle once again.
Yep. And that's a smart play because it's worked every time he's gotten the call for that quick set.
They move over to the right side of the front line as Nick Bennison back on serve. First team All-East region. Gutierrez just kept that alive.
Nobody there.
And Kaler and Grover both stared at each other and let the ball go. So Bennison gets 1 point back. His team now still down 6.
This is the right guy at the line, though, for St. Charles to get back in it.
Kuntz. Marco Lasana with the back set to Thomas. It's been a while since he's been involved in the offense. Big kill there for Josh Thomas. And St. Charles with a nice response thus far out of the timeout. Thomas trying to go quick. Irwin is there. Kaler responds. Bennison pops it up. Nearly hit the ceiling. Thomas pushes it through. Neusdorfer there. Best test of strength. Another meeting at the net. Kuntz is going to pop it backwards, actually. Hagnarazi plays it back. Grover there safely. Irwin in the middle. Bennison with the dig, but it won't be in play.
Well, that's the biggest point we've seen so far from Sam Irwin tonight, who will be headed to play at Mount Union and puts his team now, again, up 6 as he'll go back and take the serve as well.
Irwin awaits the assignment from the coaching staff to find out not only where he needs to be lined up, but who he needs to target on this serve. He'll go at Josh Thomas, and a good decision. And now double contact as Monco Lasana and Bennison were right there.
And again, what the ref is looking for is the spin of the ball coming out of the hands when you hit it with 2 hands.
Oh, Kuntz just, okay, I'll take it. I think he was trying to punch that one backward, and it wound up falling forward into no man's land. Marit Monco Lasana. He's already shown in the match he can deliver you some tough serves. They need a run from him right now.
He's kind of gotten his head right with that serve in the last few rotations.
It's a good one to Kaler there. Tried to play over by Kaiser, nothing doing. Thomas with the pass a little behind him. It'll work though. Little too tall for Max Gutierrez in the far corner. St. Charles trying to get back into it. The lead now down to 5 for Olentangy.
Colin Bargy on the front line for Olentangy.
Grover with the safe play. Here. That is popped up, and Kuntz may have been better served to let that one go as Bennison was in position to back him up. And Max Kaiser back to serve, and the Olentangy lead now sits at 20-14.
Well, St. Charles needs to stop right now because you give up 1 or 2 points here, it becomes a lot tougher uphill battle.
Touch in the middle. There you go. There's Ben Franz.
I don't think that's exactly the way they wanted to draw it up, but it worked out. And Ben Franz, that was pure will right there.
Played it right into the chest of 6'6" Colin Bargy there. Jacob Neusdorfer also in the area. Played it below their hands. 20-15, Hagnarazi on serve.
This is a good guy to have at the serve rotation for St. Charles.
Neusdorfer, wow. A beautiful pass from Kaiser across. Just laid it up for the lefty.
That's backbreaking when you can break the serve of one of the better servers on the St. Charles side now, and you put one of your better guys back at the serve.
Sam Kaler. That's to be played back by Thomas. Good job by him just to keep that in play. Grover on the far side, and it is there. Benison having more and more trouble on that back line here in the fourth. And Olentangy now 3 points away from a regional title.
He's spent a lot of physical and mental energy in this game.
Kaler,
Got
there,
it.
it's an ace.
Oh,
Not by much.
Kaler's got to be careful on that one. He got a little animated after the serve.
And there, he's already been warned here in the match for that. This one, though, into the net.
And there's such a fine line between the enthusiasm that you want the players to have and enjoy, and then going over a line and what that line is, nobody ever really seems to know until you cross it.
Jack
until it's too
Kester's
late.
now with the biggest serving point of his young career. St. Charles needs a run right now. And
nobody's
Gavin
there.
Grover doesn't seem to care. And now Olentangy has 7 championship points. It'll be the freshman Max Gutierrez looking to close it out. Into the net.
And he's been their best server all night.
Almost have a sheepish smile like, you got to be kidding me. Now is the time I put one in, but now the pressure goes on senior Ben Franz. He has to put this in play. He'll do it. Kaler to Irwin to Neusdorfer. 2 players collide. Irwin there. Got it down. Sam Irwin ends things, and Olentangy has itself a regional title.
Well, congratulations to the Braves as a 3 seed, pulling the upset to get here in the first place, as did St. Charles. And the 2 teams, I'm so happy to see this. I know it's a small thing, but look, the guys are kind of slapping hands, shaking hands. That's something we haven't got to see all year long, and that was a hard-fought match. And when you got a 3 and a 4 seed to kind of surprise both the whole Division II region in the East to get here to this point, and then you had all the emotion that St. Charles had coming into the match here with their graduation and commencement, and you almost wonder if that energy level that was at the beginning was just too much to really ask to be able to keep as it went through. But give credit to Olentangy because they withstood that emotion.
And had to know coming in that that was going to be the case. They were going to see a fired-up St. Charles team from the get-go. They knew they had to try to withstand that early run, and they were able to do it in the first set and win it. Of course, St. Charles reversed things in the second. That third set was as good as you're going to see throughout not only our coverage this weekend in the regional, but also in the state tournament. As we'll see here, St. Charles receive the regional runner-up trophy here. Just a few little things make the difference here. And again, another match where St. Charles will look back in the record books and see they lost this in 4 sets. It was a lot closer.
It really was.
Than that showed.
They played with heart. They played with guts. And they had to do it when – and again, we were talking about the enthusiasm and the emotion that he came in with. But that can also be a distraction as well, because that is a tough thing to overcome when you need to mentally prepare for a match of this level. So that's a hard thing to ask young men to be able to do. And for them to have played as solid and strong as they did, hats off to what St. Charles did here tonight. And to be able to get here to even have this opportunity to play to get to the state semifinals.
And I think it's a situation, if you're Coach Gruber and his staff, you're telling your kids, you guys played your guts out. They were just a little bit better tonight. There was not a huge difference between either of these 2 teams.
No.
I'm sure that Olentangy feels not only excited but also fortunate to get out of here and move on to the state Final Four coming up next week at Pick Central.
Very excited to be able to bring those matches to you coming up next weekend.
Yeah.
But still 3 more Division II teams to be decided to finish out that Final Four.
Olentangy will await the winner of the North region. It'll be either Walsh Jesuit or Brecksville Broadview Heights. And, of course, we're going to have coverage of all 3 regions remaining in both Division I and Division II on OHSBVABroadcast.com. That'll be coming up on Saturday. But first, here in this one, the Olentangy Braves need to come claim a regional title trophy.
They're bringing everybody.
Sam Irwin take it there. Well deserved for either one of these two to be a regional champion here, but the Olentangy Braves do enough in the end to advance to the state Final Four as they take down St. Charles in 4 sets. It's been a great night of volleyball here across Division I and Division II here at Westerville Central High School. Again, our thanks to our entire staff, and thanks to everybody tuning in on OHSBVABroadcast.com. ESP Media, the exclusive provider of the OHS BVA Regional and State Championships. All games available live and on demand. Congratulations to the Olentangy Braves. They are the East Region champions and on to the state Final Four. And with that, we will bid you adieu from Westerville Central High School. For our producer, Zach Waddell, and also my partner, Greg Waddell, my name is Jason Griefer. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a great night of action. Olentangy has won the East Regional Championship.